We are situated about 8 miles west of New York City at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Anders Carlson has this teed up, ready to get started. And off we go from MetLife Stadium. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Allen looking to throw it right at the outset. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Quincy Williams worked his way back for that sack.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
Got it complete to Khalil Shakir. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. 22 yards there, a first down.
What an intelligent play as he found open grass and uncovered quickly. A nice clutch play to move the chains. The defense, they've got to do a much better job of accounting for these shorter routes.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and makes sure he spills it for a small gain.
From the 42-yard line, here's second down and 8. On play action, Allen. He's got his man. That's the rookie from Florida State. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
It's caught by Coleman. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Here's Allen. Setting up the screen for Cook. 7 yards there and a first down. Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4 of 4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And again, it's Allen. And this will be incomplete.
So much of his game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
2nd and 10. They run for the first time with James Cook. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
But this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They have more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23.
Well, that's what's called being aggressive right there. But I don't know that it's reckless. I think it's much more of a message, hey, defense, I believe in you in case we don't get it. And offense, trying to let them know he believes in them as well.
I like it. Your first drive of the game in plus territory, be aggressive. Slot man moves right. Throwing now is Allen. Shakir hauls it in. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be second down. To the air, Allen. That's caught. It's Coleman. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Allen now looks to throw. And incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity to just want to ride there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Here's 2nd and 10. Coleman, the man in motion right. To throw, it's Allen. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Well, they're not hiding who their central focus is on offense. Charles, he already now has 4 receptions here on this opening drive.
And I know people who are watching the game are thinking, did they forget about him in the defensive game plan? But it's actually been the opposite. They're giving him a lot of attention, but he's been very creative and savvy in his route running and finding seams.
Touchdown, Bills! Khalil Shakir from 4 yards out. And the Bills will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You can have a lot to handle in this one.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The New York set to take the field. Now Hall to start the drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd down and 6. Here's Hall again. And he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd and 5. Fields now to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
Fields. And Lazard's got it again. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Nothing flashy there. The slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys, because it's a quick play, and you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch, and then he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. Straight ahead is Hall. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
Good work that time to get him to jump, and now here's 1st and 10. Here's Fields. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Past the 20. And he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and a Bills touchdown. Still in the first quarter, but what a great start for them. I mean, they've controlled the airways, Charles, on both sides. They had the passing touchdown. Then they intercept the pass of the other squad and take it back for another score.
Brandon, I know we have a ton of time left, but what an early backbreaker they just delivered. They're up early, and they appear to be totally dialed in. And that offense, they're forced to run right back out, still shaking up a bit, but feeling the pressure to put something on the scoreboard. They've got to be careful here.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. Pick 6 last drive. Here's Fields again. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain.
He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the 1st down.
Now it's Fields. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Hall ought to give up the middle. And he'll make it only to the 43, a gain of 2. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Off play action, Fields. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
I'm actually looking at this play with defensive eyes here, partner, because they were still laser focused on him after his earlier exploits on this drive. I think they went back to the well just a little bit too soon. He got across the line of scrimmage, but they certainly weren't giving up much more than that.
And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. And they'll run the option to start the drive. Allen, nifty footwork. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. A little do-it-yourself run right there and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Allen going to throw. Got an open man. It's Josh Palmer. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Here's Allen to throw it. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Now Allen. And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Bills with a football as we start quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Jake Camarda sent on now to punt this away. And a fair catch taken here right at about the 40-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Back to throw. Fields. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's 2nd down and a yard. From the 50, here's Fields. He completes that to Garrett Wilson. He's got room at the 30. Still on his feet. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Garrett Wilson, 50 yards. And the Jets are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
And he went all the way into the end zone. So now Carlson, after the touchdown, called on to send this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Now Allen. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
The Bills on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Allen. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
Defensively, he has been a presence in their backfield in the first half. Had a sack earlier, and now he comes up with a big tackle for a loss.
Palmer going in motion right. From midfield, here's Allen. His throw incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Derek Nottie makes the tackle. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. Has his man, it's Shakir. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 19. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
Here's Allen. This is Coleman with a grab. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Cook up the gut. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Motion man is Shakir. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
And this is just a little touch pass. They send the receiver in motion, just kind of tap it forward to him. Now, it doesn't turn into a huge play, but they do pick up a 1st down, a nice, consistent gain.
Throwing now is Allen. And he's got it. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Two of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he takes it in across the chalk for a Bills touchdown. Reggie Gilliam punching it in from a yard away. And the Bills go up by 2 touchdowns. And they just powered it in right there, Charles. 3 tight ends out on the field, the fullbacks for the defense. They knew what was coming.
They knew, but they weren't able to stop them. They knew they had to meet them with a little bit of force, but on that play, the big guys up front won the day.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And it's now 21-7. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And New York set to take the field. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive. So we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
He still has yet to get on track in this first half. The second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Here's Fields. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard. So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
Handoff, running left. Here's Hall. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Terrell Bernard is in on the tackle.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the first down marker. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable 3rd down.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on 2nd down.
To throw is Fields. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
But defensively, they're doing everything they can to protect this early lead after giving up a touchdown on their last drive.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. Shakir hauls it in. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll make it second down. To the air, Allen. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. And Knox is going to have a Bills first down as he'll get this up to the 32. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now Allen again. And his throw here's incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. Allen now looks to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Bills first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
That's a big conversion there on third down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt to kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
The slot man in motion right. From the gun, it's Allen. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over, then they get a chance to continue their drive.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Goes to Shakir once again for the completion. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. To throw, it's Allen. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. On play action, Allen. They'll roll him out right. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Josh Allen taking it in from a yard out. And the Bills will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Jets going to take over now late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. 35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on first down. Fields. He's got the hook up to Lazard. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Second and 7, operating from the 34. Here's Fields. Slant pass. He's got Reynolds. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30. Fields now to throw. Targets and finds Reynolds once more. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up second down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And his kick here is good. And that will do it for this first half. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Here's the Jets offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
He finds Wilson, and he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be second down. A give running right is Hall. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Back to throw. Fields. That is caught. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That's not the first time they've looked his way when they've needed a big play. He's been the go-to guy all game long. And they get the hookup again on third down to keep this drive alive.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 43. Now it's Fields. This is Lazard with a catch out left. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Fields. Reynolds with a catch out on the right side. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. A handoff for Hall. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Fields. That's complete to Lazard. And the Jets are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
A shotgun snap, Fields. Buying time to his left. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Justin Fields. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Jets are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the second half.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Carlson back out there now to send this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the side.
Now the ball comes loose, and it's scooped up by the Jets. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. They'll give to Hall. Gets past one man. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That good for 19 and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll run with Hall, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
One more time with Hall. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
A crucial penalty there as the hold backs him up for another 2nd and goal. They'll go again with Hall. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line. Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? They'll try to run it here with Hall. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Well, they certainly didn't appear to be fired up about their options throwing the football. So, to me, this seems like a case of just kind of taking their medicine there, run the ball, see if they could pick up something. Instead, they were throwing for a loss.
And this one is right through. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
So after the made field goal, here's Carlson to send it away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And now out come the Bills. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now Allen. That's again complete to Palmer. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
Well, if you like the matchup and that connection works to start the drive, no reason to go away from it. Let that defense prove that they can stop you. And here, it's 2 throws and 2 first downs.
Slot man moves right. Here's Allen. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Coleman. From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Give to Cook out of the gun. Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. They run again on first down. Cook, a good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here's Cook again. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Now Allen. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Here's Allen to throw it. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 26. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the third downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the third quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board.
Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Jet touchdown. Well, in a tight game like this, that could be an incredibly important pick six, CD, this ball game.
You're right about that, partner, because each side came up with still plenty of time left for either team to come through with a win, though, play and win it for their club.
And they turned the pick six into a pick eight with that two-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch going, and then they capitalize with a little bit on top.
So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Buffalo set to get the football back here. And remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Allen. Open man is Palmer. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 9 here. Coleman, the man in motion left. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The Bills send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Jets will take over. New York ready to go again offensively. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. That's thrown quickly out wide to Lazard. Down the sideline he goes. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. And even 40 yards.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
Give to Hall running right. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Here's a quick throw out to Wilson. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. To throw is Fields. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
From here on, any score could be the winning one, and he is certainly aware of that. Look at the way he locked in on that marker and made a mad scramble to get to it for the first down.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Fields. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Oh, they'll certainly be on the tablets going over that one for sure. Clearly, they were expecting something else out of the defense and couldn't adjust to make that completion happen.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Now it's Fields off the bootleg. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And that one really pushes him back. A loss of 9. And now it's 3rd and goal after the sack.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
A lot of tired bodies on that field. But this is a big play. 3rd and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Jeremy Ruckert, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Jets have broken this deadlock and have taken the lead here in the 4th. So, Charles, just a shocking turn of events here. I mean, right when you thought this game had gotten away from them, they come roaring back and have taken a 4th quarter lead.
Yeah, you're going to make me wax poetic here. Well, I don't know how good that's going to be, but to me, this is a testament to not giving up. The ethic that the coach instilled in them, that work ethic, that idea that you're never out of the game. Well, this team has grasped onto that. They bought into it and have held each other accountable. They are never out of games, and they just proved it here.
So now Carlson, after the touchdown, called on to send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Buffalo offense back out ready to go. The pressure is on now. They're being shut out here in the second half after a decent first half offensively. And they need their best drive of the game right here. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. Slant route going to be caught by Palmer. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he's going to have a Bills 1st down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line.
Well, you know they had a 3rd down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. To throw, it's Allen. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. He's up to 88 yards receiving in the ball game now, and he's got a 1st down.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Here's Fields. That is caught. Josh Reynolds. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one goes for 24 yards.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
On that snap, he's the hero of his defense after the play he just made. A 1-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Fields. This is caught. Yeah, he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. They'll try to run with Hall. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall punching it in from a yard away. And the Jets have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter.
Sometimes offenses can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Carlson back out there now to send this one away. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Allen now looks to throw. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So pass interference, the call is so tough as a defender, I'd imagine, to time that up perfectly.
It certainly is difficult to get it exactly right because sometimes you're looking at getting there fractions of seconds too early. That one looked a little more obvious. Always a tough penalty to officiate. Just ask the basketball refs when they have to officiate block and charge.
Allen going to throw. That's taken in by Palmer. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Second and a couple. From midfield, here's Allen. Pass delivered successfully to Knox on the out route. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain there of 21 yards.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Throwing now is Allen. Has his man, it's Shakir. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. 3rd and 7 now. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And they stop him short of the first as he can only get to the 20. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now. Well, look at the clock. You're down 2 scores. Have to go for this, don't you?
And they thought that as soon as they took over possession. It didn't matter where they were on the field. They were always going to be in 4-down territory. Backed up, in good situation, it didn't matter. So they've been preparing for that on their play sheet the entire time.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bills' drive stalls out on 4th down, and the Jets are going to get the football back. Now Hall to start the drive. And some room to roam now. And he'll have a Jets 1st down as he's able to take this up to the 30-yard line.
And what a tough spot for this defense because they know it's coming, but they're just powerless to stop it. What a great run there to start the drive. And you can bet there'll be more where that came from as they try to ice this game away.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Hall again. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them,
trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Straight ahead is Hall. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Hall on a give up the middle. And he will have a Jets first down, and that should just about do it. Game in hand, the offense takes the knee. On second down, here's a keeper by the QB. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a third down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Jets as we say so long from MetLife Stadium.